everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Take Data Engineer. So in this video we will cover certain question pattern which basically interviewer asked whenever you are attending any data engineering interview. Okay, so this is mostly asked in distributed system by Spark. Okay, so how you are handling the data and certain like you can say scenario based question, you can consider this one. Okay, so they wanted to understand how you are handling that case and what are the functions you are applying for cleansing, pre-processing or transforming your data based on your need. Okay, so apart from your all theoretical concepts, mostly whatever they used to ask like UDF related, how you are doing partitioning, how you are doing optimizations, how your Spark works, what is DAG, how RDD works. So every concept they wanted to understand how what is transformations, actions, how shuffling happened. Okay, so apart from that they wanted to understand certain your coding practice also, right? What are the functions and what are the method you are using basically, and they wanted to understand basically your from SQL functions, what are the functions you are using for making the transformation. So I have listed out certain questions which mostly I come across certain interview where they used to ask certain questions. Okay, so I have listed it down. So if you'll practice this question, that would be helpful for everyone. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Okay, so first question, so they used to ask like how would you execute an SQL query to select the ID name column from a registered temporary table. Okay, so basically these questions they wanted to understand how you will use SQL with your existing data frame. Okay, in your pyspark code. Okay, so first that what we have to do, we have to do like df dot, if data frame is already there, create or replace temporary view. So first you have to create a temporary view of your data frame. Okay, and then you can utilize your pyspark.sql method to use your temporary table as a table, and then you can whatever the result you wanted to do, you can use and you can showcase, okay, on your console. So this is the code snippet for that. So if you wanted to understand like how you'll use SQL in your code, okay, pyspark code, then they will ask certain question related to clinching. So get the first non-null value in a column. So if you have column called name or certain column, okay, it's name. So name, they wanted to find out the first null value, non-null value, okay, in the name. So how you will use, so there is a function called college. So from pyspark.sql.functions import function, so this you have to write it down. Okay, so if they will ask like please write it down the code snippet for that, so you have to write it down the first line, so that you so they will understand, okay, you are importing the college function and then you are using. So this is the best practice to write the code snippet. So they don't want the entire code, they just wanted the code snippet. Okay, then you'll write like df.select college df.name. So you will pass the function name, column name called name dot alias. So whatever you wanted to store like first non-null value dot. So if you'll write like this, so in that your name column, if there is a first non-null value, that will display there. Okay, then the next question would be convert a column to lowercase. Okay, so this question, this is doable by your UDF also, but you know UDF is not the optimized as compared to existing functions, so you can use this one. So from pyspark.sql the function import lower, and then again there is a name column they wanted to convert to the lowercase. You will write like df.with column name, you will pass, you will store in a name column, and you will pass like lower df.name. So df.name you will pass whatever the name is there, you can override to that with a lowercase. Okay, then the next question would be removing the leading and trailing space from a column. Okay, so sometimes it is necessary also if you are storing your end result or if you are reading the data. So sometimes because of trailing space or leading space, it sometimes there should be some error. Okay, so how you will cleansing or pre-processing such types of columns. So you have to do like from pyspark.sql function import trim. So trim function, what it will do, it will trim the leading and trailing space from the name column. Okay, so you will write like df.with column name, and trim you will pass the df dot name. Apart from that, you can pass like col call and name also. You have to import the call column, so the different way to write this logic. Okay, so you can pass the name, and under name you will pass the column. Okay, df dot name. Then the next question they should ask, like how you are concatenating two column in one. Okay, so suppose there are two column id name and you wanted to concatenate in a single column called id name. Okay, so how you'll do that? So again, for that we have the concate function. So concate will do the concatenation. So df dot with column id name will pass id underscore name, and you will do the concate of df dot id and df dot name. Okay, dot show. So you'll basically you will get your id name things. Apart from that, so I came across the different scenario where you have to extract the substring from a string before a delimiter. So there are certain delimiters, and in that, so before that delimiter, whatever the value is there, you have to find it out. So so they will give some certain scenario, like you have an address column and you have to find out the substring before the first comma. Okay, suppose something like that, name comma abhishek, so you have to find out the name before the column. So from the pyspark sql import the split function. So you can use, this is important function, many places this split function is required. So you will use the split df dot with column address before comma, you can write name like that, and you can store a split df dot name. So df dot address you will pass, and you will pass the first delimiter. Okay, so not first delimiter, you will pass the delimiter, and then you are retrieving the data. So you are retrieving the first data, so you'll pass the zero indexing. Okay, and then dot show, you can retrieve the data. The next question would be find the index of a substring in a string. Okay, so you have to find out the index of a substring in a string. So there is a string, you have to find out the indexes of a substring. So for that there is a method called locate. Okay, so if there is a descriptions column, then how you will pass from pyspark.sql import locate. Okay, then again df dot with column error index, suppose there is a locate called error df dot description. So whatever the index of error is there in the df dot descriptions, it will give the indices. Okay, so that way you can find out. If you wanted to, so suppose there is a different descriptions coming, you wanted to find out the error, so you can use this types of logic. Okay, check if a strings end with the specific suffix. So if there are certain in string which end with certain suffix or prefix, or start with certain prefix, so how will find out? So how will so the question is, how would you check if a email column ends with gmail.com? Okay, so you will write like 5 from pyspark.sql function import ends with. So there is a function called string function called ends with and start with. Okay, so you will find out df.filter ends with df.email, and they will pass the gmail.com. So because you wanted that gmail.com ends with, so you will get it from this snippet. Okay, then again extract the first word from a string. So again you have to find out the split function, you will pass the sentence column, and then because there is no delimiter, you don't have to pass any delimiter. Whatever the first word will come, you will retrieve it from there. So that delimiter you can consider is like a space. Okay, so you'll get it from there. Okay, then again remove all non alphanumeric character from a string. Alphanumeric means numeric with alpha. Okay, so how you would you remove all non alphanumeric? So from the name column, so you will again you will import the regex concept, regex underscore replace to df dot with column clean name regex dot replace df dot name. So you will write the regex pattern like a to z 0 to 9. So this non alphanumeric character you will replace it. Okay, so that way so these are the scenario based I have listed it down. There are many more questions, so you have to practice something like this, because in pyspark they will not ask any end-to-end solution, something like that. So this is the only transformation, a small transformation on the columns or certain functions they wanted to know how you are implementing that. If you wanted to check your python concept, obviously they will ask the python coding questions. But if they wanted to understand your pyspark concept apart from theoretical, they will ask certain questions like that. Okay, Thank you. Thanks for watching.